Hi everyone, I'm Ramon Sanders with Longmont Community Justice Partnership. I'm the Programs and Training Director with LCJP, and I'm here with Annie Colvin. How you doing, Annie?
I'm great, thanks, Ramon. How are you?
Pretty good.
Good.
Thank you for joining us this evening for our In the Words event, From Hurt to Healing. We're going to focus on stories of healing tonight, and I know since I've been with LCJP that you've been a very active volunteer. How long have you been volunteering with LCJP?
I think since 2013, so 10 years.
10 years. I've only been with LCJP for a year and a couple months, so you've got me beat. I've learned a lot from you.
Oh, I think I've learnt more from you, Ramon.
Thank you. In your experience with volunteering with LCJP, I'm sure you've encountered a lot of different scenarios with young folks and adults that come through our process in partnership with the Longmont municipality. What brought you to LCJP and what kept you around?
It's sort of tough to know what brought me to it. I'd retired, probably a typical story, and looking to see what I wanted to do. And I wanted to do something that really engaged me, something that meant something, like a personal thing. And I kind of felt, I don't know, hopefully felt that I might have something to offer in terms of facilitation skills and having meetings with people. You know, I was comfortable, at least in that environment.
Let's dive in. You mentioned the discovery piece and what you learn about folks and what helps you grow as a facilitator. Is there a specific story or experience in a conference that moved you in that way, where an outcome or an agreement was made that you didn't foresee?
Yes, there have been a few, because volunteers are amazingly creative about what they come up with, so it's great. There was one case, and this still gets to my heart here. Young girl, teenager, from a very loving, supportive family, has a great relationship with her mum, talks to her mum. They just have this great relationship. Anyway, the young girl was in a local store, and I think there was a party or something coming up, and she sees a lipstick and she thinks, oh, yes, just a job, but presumably didn't have the money, and so picks up the lipstick, pops it in her purse, walks out of the store, and she's apprehended. And the impact on that family and on the relationship with her mum was just where before she and her mum would chat and talk after school and stuff. Now the girl is like too ashamed, and so she can't really approach her mum and talk about it. And her mum is so shocked and upset that her daughter could do such a thing. She doesn't know how to broach it with her daughter. So suddenly you had this really close relationship that was torn apart by this one incident. And in the course of the discussion, at the end, as you know, contract items are created, and the contract items try to repair harm. And it's harm across the board, not just trying to do something about the theft. And one of the volunteers, and hearing the story about the relationship between mum and daughter, said, I think mum and daughter should have a spa day together. And it was a bit tricky because typically you can't have items that are going to cost money unless you've talked about it beforehand and have ascertained that that's a possibility. And so the facilitator says, I think that's a great idea. However, of course, there might be a cost involved, and I'm not sure that that's possible. Whereupon Dad, who's also in the conference, says, well, we all know who's going to pay for this, don't we? But he said it in such a way that you knew he was happy. But not only did he say that, he said, I'd do anything to have my wife and daughter back to their old relationship. Like I say, I'm sorry, but it still, when I think of that, touches my heart. Because I think it really embodies everything that restorative justice is trying to do. You talk about relationships, and I'm more of a scientist than an arts person, right? So relationships, like... but that is so the epitome of a broken relationship from one single silly act. And the repair that comes about through this process. It's wonderful. Sorry.
No, thank you, Annie. The fact that we've had a conversation prior when we asked to have you share your experience for this wonderful event, and the fact that it continues to have this impact on you, a positive one, right?
Yeah.
Even though it may be emotional, for myself in the practice, is spot on. Is what we're looking for, is to find ways to start that repair, right? Or address what needs to be done to begin that repair piece without utilizing shame or blame. And oftentimes just having the process, we can't determine what is needed to begin that healing process. And the fact that volunteers like yourself hold the space and facilitate the process and allow for the flexibility for folks to make repair and to explore what is needed is exactly where my heart lies in this work. And we're very appreciative to have volunteers like yourself who bring their hearts into it as well, beyond just facilitating a process for us. So I thank you for that, Annie.
Thanks, Ramon.